Hello, amazing, beautiful people. How exciting is this? Here we are, season 5, episode 7, miracles. And I can't wait to share what I have to share with you today. So, what is a miracle? For me, it's anything that happens that I have absolutely no control over that blesses me or blesses those around me. The Oxford Dictionary states that it is an extraordinary and welcome event that is not explained by natural or scientific laws and is therefore attributed to divine agency. Miracles for me can happen in so many ways, from the smallest of details to massive mountains or mindsets being shifted for doors to open and opportunity to happen. I believe countless miracles happen every single day, but we miss them or don't see them because it's not what we're looking for. In psychology, they talk about prospection. We only see what we're looking for, what we program to see. You remember that with, you buy a yellow car and then all of a sudden you see lots of yellow cars. You start looking for miracles. And I recall, times when people have pulled out in front of me. If it had been a second earlier or a second later, disaster would have happened. But actually, it was okay. I believe that it's a miracle that I'm living in New Zealand, a place I didn't even know existed when I was younger. And, yet it blesses me with all the things that I love. And like that blows me away. Here it's warmer here than in New Zealand. I used to hate, sorry, than in the UK. I used to hate those cold winters where your hands literally froze. I used to get chilblains from how cold my feet used to be and then putting them on the warm pipes at boarding school. I so remember that. So blessed, miracle that I'm living somewhere where the climate is perfect for me. I love it. Or maybe it's the fact that I love the great landscapes. I love the land here. It is beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful rural living. It's like bring it on. It brings me so much joy. And my children had access to the national players for their sport. They actually got coached by the Black Sticks. There is no way on earth that would have happened if we'd been living in the UK. And so for me, that's a miracle. It's a miracle with all the blessings that have come by living here. And I never thought this was where I was going to be, you know? And I've also found a loving, caring family for the first time in my life. It has just been beautiful. And I never thought that would happen. I've had family who've rejected me, don't want anything to do with me in different spaces. And I just never thought that that would be part of my journey, I suppose. And so miracles for me is when God answers prayer and he gives you the stuff that's deep in your heart that you really desire. Quite often it's not the way you think it's going to be, but it's like, oh my goodness. Kev and I have been blessed with 3 properties that I didn't physically work for. I didn't earn the salary to buy those properties. That's a miracle. It's a miracle that a family member sat in the middle of a major road saying that they didn't want to be here anymore in the early hours of the morning. They weren't run over, and they're safe, and they're well mentally as well as physically. That's a miracle, because you know what? That's not what it said on the day. It's a miracle that during the time when our family had an income of 18,000 a year, school fees were paid, ponies were sponsored, and my children's sporting commitments never changed. It was as if we were still living off 200,000 a year. Like nuts! How the flip did we manage to keep all of that going? That was a miracle. It was just outside of what was possible, and certainly what was possible in my head and my brain. And I've personally witnessed hands, feet, wrists, backs, physical healings where people have not been able to walk free, where people who've had wrists that they haven't been able to move and have been waiting for surgery, healed completely. Like it is crazy. And that has been healed. One of my clients has been completely healed of SIRS, which is a chronic inflammatory, system response. And overnight, boom, healed through prayer and fasting. That's a miracle. 6 years of not being able to move, being pretty much housebound. Boom, job done. It's like next level. I've seen divorce papers thrown away where they were being served, and less than a year later, that marriage being restored, where bitterness, anger, and hurt has been replaced by love, kindness, and generosity. Holy moly, I wish that we could see more of that. I actually wish that more people, when things aren't going well, would come and find help in the right spaces so that marriages can be restored, so that love can reign. We always think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, and quite frankly, it is so not. But anyway, having said that, I hadn't walked the path I'd walked, I wouldn't be where I am now. So God, not so long ago, 3 or 4 years ago, asked me to build a miracle room. And he said, you build me a miracle room and I will do miracles. This is my miracle room. And I actually watched someone sit in the seat there and cry for nearly a whole session. They weren't a Christian, it wasn't their gig. They just cried and not sobbed, but just were letting out what was hurting, all their pain of the past, all the things that were not of them. And I remember them saying, oh my goodness, I feel like I've had open heart surgery. And I said, well, actually you have, because God had done a miracle in them. He said, I feel so much lighter. And you know what? All that pain, it has never come back. It has gone. It was released that day in coaching. Nuts. All I did was my gig. But God came and delivered him completely of all the rubbish that he'd been carrying. It was brilliant to see. And one of my favorite memories, or one of my favorite stories of my clients is just like next level. This beautiful lady came to me. Her relationships with her family were shocking. She was struggling at work. She didn't feel confident. She felt like she got nothing to offer. Nothing was going right. She was a solo grandmother, flatting because she didn't have the finance to buy her own place. She didn't have the finance to do what she wanted to do. Things were contentious with family members. And she was just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing wrong? And she wasn't doing anything wrong. We just needed to shimmy some alignment. And so she wrote in her vision, when we'd gone through some coaching, she worked in her vision. She said, right, I'm going to put it out there, she said. And she put it out there that she wanted to have her own home, that she wanted family relationships restored, and she wanted those that she worked with to respect her. Within 2 months of that, like within 2 months, all 3 of those things have been delivered. The first was that she had a family holiday. The money came in for her to be able to pay for her children and her grandchildren and herself to all go to Rarotonga for 10 days, paid in full. So the money just came in and she was able to do it. During that time in Rarotonga, her family came together, relationships were restored. Tick, done, miracle. She didn't even earn it. She didn't earn that money. It was given to her. And then she nailed the biggest ever sale of that company that they'd ever had. And the CEO of the business came to her and said, how did you do this with your team? How I was so amazed at how well the team worked together, how this came off, that he said, actually, I want you to go and visit the different regions and show them what you have just done and how you have done it. So that was the respect for her team that she wanted. And then the third thing, he said, I'm not going to give you a pay rise. This is amazing, but I'm not going to give you a pay rise. I'm going to give you a house. So he bought her a house. Job done. All 3 things. Now, from my perspective, that's a miracle. Yes, she played part of it. She had to play her part in it. But it was just next level. And so that's kind of big picture, massive stuff as far as I'm concerned. Massive healings, physical healings, people being blessed with stuff that they'd never earned, but they asked for. And we just had a week of accommodation paid in full while we were in the Sunshine Coast, which was amazing. And then we're about to go off to the South Island in September. And again, here we go. There you go. Have our retreat home. Have our love. And it's beautiful. Oh, and by the way, we'll throw in a car for you. All paid in full for 10 days. Unbelievable. And that, and then again, my sciatica. I had sciatica a while ago, where I was screaming I woke up and I was screaming in pain. I could not move. I was in agony for 2 or 3 days, highest dose possible of painkillers. And yes, I went for physio, and in 3 weeks, all gone, completely cleared, nailed, done. And another friend of mine, same space, ended up having to have full surgery, and still they have pain. I'm claiming that as a miracle, that I didn't have to have surgery, that I'm not in pain, and that the job was done. Yes. And I passionately believe we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. If we're looking for miracles, I look for miracles, I look for blessing, I look for the good stuff, and guess what? I find it. And I'm also really thankful for it. I also know there was a time when I was bitter and hurt, when I was waiting for the next hit, like physically to get hit, or the next explosion of frustration, where I was treading on eggshells every single day. I remember being fearful, being hurt, being broken, and waiting for the next blow to send me down and back even further. So at the end of the day, to go from there to where I am now, I believe is a miracle. This lady from Yorkshire, England, who is never good enough, is now blessed with more than I could ever have imagined or dreamed of. Why? I believe it's because God has called me home. He says, seek me first and my righteousness, and everything will be given to you. And I have spent the last 7 years leaning in and wanting to know more about this God. Like, if he blesses people, I want some blessing. I want the good stuff. So tell me more. So I've been to Bible study. I've been part of an intercessors group. I am part of City Prayer Team. I'm part of a worship team, as well as more recently engaging with a brilliant community and learning to have a personal relationship, an empowering relationship with God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. I don't deserve any of the blessings that I currently have, but the Jesus who lives in me does. And so I think it's a miracle in itself that Jesus paid in full over 2,000 years ago for all my rubbish, for all the stuff that I've stuffed up, my failures, my sickness, my disease, my wrong thinking, my doubt, my fear, my shame. Boom! He said, oi, that stuff's mine. I paid for it. And when I gave my life to Jesus, he took that and exchanged it for all the stuff that he was blessed with. So everything that's available in heaven is available to me. That's crazy. That in itself is crazy, nuts, a miracle. But it's crazy good and it's real. I'm fit and healthy. I have peace. I have joy. I have a future. I have all the fruits of the Spirit, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, all of it available, fully available to me now, that I can use at any moment, as well as hope for a future, safety, security, love, peace, rest, and so much more. When things go wrong, I am not bothered anymore because I'm just waiting for the upgrade because I know there's something amazing on the other side. Since giving my life to Jesus, everything has changed. I expect miracles every day. Some are big, some are small, but I expect blessings day by day. And all stuff that's out of my control. Now, if you would like to know more about being blessed, or about Jesus, or about miracles in your life, then please get in touch. Email me, sally@inspiringperspectives.co.nz, or get on to the website and get a free call. Get the Life by Design call. We'll put the links into this, but it'd be an honor to connect. My heart of sharing this is because I am over the head knowledge of religion. It's time to have the heart to inform the head. and to have the real, tangible experience of being abundantly blessed every day, regardless of what's going on around you. I know my life is a testimony to the grace of God, to his goodness and to his kindness. I don't deserve any of it. And yet he's chosen to bless me, and he wants to bless you too. So I encourage you, if you are not in a space of abundant blessing, if you are not receiving miracles beyond your wildest dreams, then please get in touch. Sally at inspiringperspectives.co.nz or www.inspiringperspectives.co.nz/life by design call. But connect. It's time for you to live your best life. I love you. God bless you. And I look forward to seeing or hearing from you very soon.